Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's Cheer League match between Sky5 and Deep Impact. So these are two teams that are, I think they're third and fourth place in Division 1, so two very high teams in the standings, and I definitely expect it to be a very good match, so really looking forward to it. The map tonight will be Sky Temple. Just going ahead and getting the draft here all set up, and we'll be good to go. Just have one more person to whisper a link out to, and we should be all set. So I'm seeing now that I tried to join the Cheer League chat room for this match, and it was in there. It turns out I didn't spell Cheer League right, so spelled it Chate League, so that's not gonna work. But thankfully these guys were good to go. They already had a lobby all set up. So we should be good to go here in just a moment. Of course, Firefox is being very slow to respond. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the draft is underway. And it will be Sky5 with the first pick. So a patch did just go out today. Malfurion and Chen got some nerfs. Don't know if they will be quite as highly prioritized. Zarya also got nerfed. So it's going to be interesting to see if Malfurion and Zarya are still first pick, first ban worthy. I suspect not. And it will be Falstad actually banned at first by Sky5. So, to me, not too surprising. If there aren't really any two heroes that are considered overpowered, you kind of want to ban out more situationally strong heroes. And this being such a big map, Falstad very strong on it. So Deep Impact now has a chance to make a ban. All right, let me get the stream going on my phone so I can actually see the chat. Kind of helpful. While I wait for a ban to be made here by Deep Impact. But because this is such a large map, I do expect globals to be highly prioritized. I was just thinking Brightwing, and Brightwing actually going to be banned out by Deep Impact. So this gives Sky5 the chance to potentially pick up Zarya or Malfurion, some of the previously superpowered, formerly overpowered heroes, who now may just be properly tuned and no longer OP. But yeah, Malfurion is going to be picked up by Sky5. So Zarya is still on the table for Deep Impact. Of course, Zarya, I don't believe, is on this Top Drafter website just yet. Because why would she be? She's only been out for like, what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? So it is going to be Chen picked up by Deep Impact. So Chen, he had some nerfs to his health and his regen. And I believe that is not actually Murky. That is Zarya being picked up by Deep Impact. So far, double tank for Deep Impact. And very, very bruisery, high damage tanks. I still think is on a very good map like very good on a map like this. That's largely about zone control. Chen can pretty much just park himself in one of the temples and be very difficult to get off of it. It's very similar to Brax's holdout that way. So the immediate counter to this double tank comp is picked up by Sky5, Tychus. I really like the pickup of Tychus. I think it really does great. In a situation like this. So Tychus was previously very strong against Chen. Now maybe not quite as strong. Now that Chen doesn't have quite the large health pool. But I still expect him to be very strong against him. And I don't believe Zarya's HP got nerfed at all. So I think Tyke is still going to be highly effective against both those two. But Johanna will Be the first tank picked up for Sky5. Or at least the first melee. They may not go double tank. Especially now a lot of the good tanks are off the board. But Deep Impact going to ban out the Bruiser in Thrall. So we have one more ban coming out for Sky5. So no support or really Assassin picked up on the side of Deep Impact. So a lot of choices Sky5 could go with for their ban. And it will be Hammer banned out. Interesting. Hammer, I don't believe she had any changes in this recent patch, so I would imagine she's still very strong. Especially on a map like this, it's all about controlling an area. Hammer can just kind of siege up and kind of behind one of the temples and just deal heavy damage to anyone trying to be inside of it. So, 2 more picks coming out for Deep Impact. And Hammer, I do think, I really like the Hammer ban, because, I mean, Hammer, in addition to just plain being strong on this map, when she's heavily protected by 2 tanks, by a very strong front line, can be absolutely devastating. It can be very hard to get to her, and she can just really poke you out. So, really like the Hammer ban there. But it's going to be Li Ming for Deep Impact. First mage of the game picked up. And Alarak. So far, a very tanky team for Deep Impact. And they also have someone who can solo the bottom lane. So because Alarak, he has some health recovery on his lightning, but it's only against heroes. He's not actually that great at sustaining in the temples. Probably going to look to Chen to try and do that. Well, Alarak either fights outside the temple with his team. So Kael'thas, the second mage of the game picked up for Sky5. And I actually like the Kael'thas pickup. KT's very good against many melee heroes. Just because like they're pretty much forced to all be grouped up. And the almighty Chain Bomb. You know, if he goes for like a very heavy... I think if he goes for a Spheres build, he can basically put up to 3 living bombs. I mean, he himself can put 3 living bombs on heroes. And then those heroes, like, just, they really can't be near anyone else. Otherwise, they're going to explode and deal additional damage to their teammates. And given that KT is very good against the high melee comps, already 3 melee picked up on the side of Deep Impact, so I really like the KT pickup. I am not so sure I like the Anubarak pickup. Actually, I take it back. He's not a solo tank. He's not a solo tank. It's fine. It's fine. A very quick Ariel picked up by Deep Impact. So, interesting. So, I mean, we see Anubarak kind of a dive warrior. Not totally sure who he's going to dive on, though. So, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could see him try to dive Li Ming. We could see him try to dive Ariel, which is very, very difficult to do. I mean, she can just kind of put herself in the crystal. I mean, we could see him go for a cocoon, but not totally sure who he puts in the cocoon. I don't know. I'm kind of wonder how the Anubarak pick is going to work out. We shall see. We shall see. So, if I recall correctly, I mean, Oversoul, very high in the standings as well. Probably going to be playing one of these teams here at one point soon. That is the way the MMR system in Chair League works. You know, every week they're trying to have an even match, so usually it'll be the one of the two team play, first and second place team playing, third and fourth team placing or playing. So Oversoul doing their scouting. And, you know, let's go back to the draft here real quick while wait on one more to ready up. I also like the pick of Ariel, I believe, on for Deep Impact. The fact that she has two highly damaging tanks means that she has very good crown targets. So, assuming she takes Empathic Link, which is what I expect her to do, she's going to gain energy not only when her crowned hero does damage, but takes damage, which is what tanks should be doing. Going to be able to build a tremendous amount of the energy, which he's going to be able to use to hopefully keep everyone alive. So waiting on one more to ready up. So waiting on the Anubarak player. Yeah, we should be good to go. Oh, you know, I tried to go back to the draft when I said all that. There, okay. So you can see Ariel, Chen, Zarya. Okay. Okay, everyone is ready, so I believe the game should be beginning here in just a second. Now, whoever the host is, I believe it's Sumo, needs to... Alright, here we go. Game number 1 out of 1. This is not a best of 3, it's only a best of 1, so... The only game here between Sky5 and Deep Impact. So for the side of Sky5, it will be Sumo the Captain on Kael'thas, Quan Finnegan on Anubarak, Leolena on Alfirion, Spiritfire on Johanna, and Apple Mike on Tychus. And for the side of Deep Impact, it will be Sophist on Ariel, Temi on Alarak, Notifish on Zarya, Man Mode on Chen, and finally Hero on Li Ming. So not too much in terms of portrait synergy for either team. A little bit more on the side of Sky5. At least 3 of them have their season 1. I believe either hero or team league. I don't think there's a way to really easily tell the difference. But at least they're icons. As my computer struggles to load this. Too many programs open. Not sure if it's just me that's having trouble loading this. Could be someone else. Sometimes it's hard to tell if one person's stalled out and it's lagging everyone, or if it's just you. Okay, looks like it's just me. Everyone else is now loaded except for Johanna, who is now loaded. I swear, it's like I need to like reboot my computer every before doing this. Just so hot's this game that not known for its performance, not known for performing well, can be all nice and fresh. Alright, I think they're waiting on me, but I'm back. So yeah, I'm anticipating a fight over the tower here. It's like both teams all positioned to try and make that happen. I don't have any ghost stories, so hopefully they do. Of course, given that the match is about to actually start, not a time to tell any.
Temple opens in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slay each other.
So let's see, still no talent picked by Malfurion. Curious if that's going to be Moonburn or Shando's Clarity. So early temple, early watchtower going to be controlled by Sky5. And actually it will be Shando's Clarity for Malfurion. So that's going to allow him to get innervates off 50% more often. Which is going to lead to... I wonder who would be a good target for that. Maybe Kael'thas, so we can get more flame strikes out. So it is actually going to be Kael'thas in the bottom lane against Chen. That is not a fight that KT will win ultimately, but... You know, the laning phase in this game is so short that as long as you don't get utterly destroyed 1v1, it doesn't matter too much. And it's actually going to be Alarak in the top lane. So used to saying Zagara. Solo laning, but that's not the case. Zag nowhere to be seen in this draft. So two very strong solo laners on the side of Deep Impact in Shen and Alarak. Of course, Shen has the added bonus of he can also solo temple. So it's looking like the early crown target is going to be Li Ming, who is currently on fire. But after level 7, I expect Empathic Link to be picked up, and probably one of the tanks, probably Chen, to be the crown target. So it looks like everyone is fighting really hard over this middle temple. And everyone getting awfully low on the side of Deep Impact. Alarak in a lot of trouble. Shield comes in from Zarya, but it's not going to be enough. He is going to fall. Meanwhile, KT in a lot of trouble, as is Tychus, who falls. And a Numerok, so far a 2-for-1 on the side of Deep Impact, and it looks like the first temple of the game is going to go over to them. So this is potentially a very bad situation for Sky5. If they don't basically get on this top temple very, very quickly, Deep Impact is going to finish up with this temple and then have enough time that they can rotate up top and actually contest it. So very interesting. Both teams not really choosing to get any soak here. You know, bottom lane completely unattended. We just see Chen standing in the bush here a little bit to get some soak during some of that, but all the shots are now gone on the middle temple, and a very healthy Deep Impact is rotating up to the top to try and get these shots here. Of course, everyone is all healthy and full on the side of Sky5, so it's going to be difficult to force them off. But we do see Sky5 starting to back off. Numerok diving in, trying to get on Alarak, but a big heal comes out from Ariel. Shield comes out, but it's not going to be enough to stop the Living Bomb from KT from killing him. So Tychus falls as well. So far this is a 1-for-1, although Zarya getting awfully low, she is going to fall. And I think this is going to about do it here for this temple phase. Although KT awfully low, but I don't think there's anyone in range who can finish him off. Malfurion not quite sure he has the mana to get off another heal. That is one of the nerfs that Malfurion was stricken with in this recent patch. The mana cost of his heal was increased. So it's looking like maybe Deep Impact was going to get the last low shots. Oh, and actually they are. So even though they actually lost that trade in terms of the numbers, they were still able to get the rest of the shots on account of getting everyone on the other team just very low. And I think you could see some of the nerfs really affecting Malfurion there. You know, he just really couldn't sustain through that fight as well as he could 12 hours ago. Yeah, he just kind of ran out of mana and unable to get out the amount of healing that he once upon a time could. So far, a slight lead for Deep Impact at this point. They're about to hit level 7. Both teams are choosing to pick up their own siege camps, which is typically seen after the first set of temples. Meanwhile, Ariel just kind of hiding out in the bush. Being available to her team to come to their aid at a moment's notice. And also soak the middle lane. So, meanwhile, it looks like the Siege Giants for Deep Impact going to win in this bottom lane. As Sky5 Giants have already been dealt with. Going to be Johanna and Alarak in the top lane. Discord Strike not going to connect on Johanna. That Lightning will, though, and it will heal up Alarak a little bit. So now that both teams have picked up their Siege Giants, both teams choosing to go ahead and pick up their Bruiser Camp. I think the timing may work out a little bit better for Deep Impact. Because the Bruiser Camp was capped a little bit earlier on the side of Sky5, that's going to give Alarak up here a little more time to deal with cleaning up this camp. And he'll then be able to get down to the temple. But he's choosing to get to the objective as quickly as possible rather than finish off the top camp. And he already did some damage to these bruisers up here, so his will ultimately win the fight. So, big fight going on here. Anubarak in the middle of it. Anubarak silenced by, I believe that was a 2-man Discord Strike from Alarak. And Anubarak, the very, very squishy tank, is going to fall. So that is going to allow this 4-on-4 fight to happen up here, while Zarya sits on the temple and takes it. And of course, able to shield herself as the Temple Guardians beat on her to build up her energy a little bit. I believe in the patch they changed her energy decay, so it decays a little faster. So, unable to keep up insane shields the entire game, or sorry, insane energy and damage the entire game. In fact, let's take a look at the damage so far. So far, Li Ming doing the lion's share of the damage. Sorry, a little bit behind Shen, so. May take a little bit of time for talents to kick in for Zarya and Shen to start doing insane damage. So, 5-man push here in the middle lane. And given that KT and Anubarak were up in the top lane, may not get here in time to save this fort. Tychus, though, gets stunned. Or, sorry, silenced. Johanna in a lot of trouble, but she is going to get the heal from Malfurion. Barrel Wandering Keg comes out from Chen. As I am lagging a little bit there. But it looks like that fight is going to end with nobody being killed. We did see level 10 reached on the side of Sky5, so they are going to not be at a complete deficit there. So, assuming Li Ming is able to get out of there safely, which it looks like she will, big win on the side of Deep Impact. They were able to get that middle fort and get out of there without any deaths. So, and because of Ariel, Chen, and Zarya, and let's see here, yeah, just them. Because like they don't really have any mana, like if you can come away even in a fight like that, that's a big advantage because you don't really have to hearth back. You don't really have to do anything. You just kind of have to try and keep your energy and shields and brew up. But no reason to have to hearth all the way back from mana, so that allowed them to easily grab their siege camp. Meanwhile, a major party bush situation going in here. And here comes the aggressive engagement from Johanna. Blessed Shield and Condemn come out. Temi getting awfully low on Alarak, but he is going to back out. So meanwhile, all that happened without Li Ming being present, and no kills were secured for Sky5. They had the ambush, they have the numbers advantage, but because Deep Impact, they're so tanky and have such great sustain, I mean, they just really came away from that fight with hardly a scratch on them. So, and this is potentially a very bad situation for Sky5. Level 13 about to be reached for Deep Impact, so it looks like Li Ming is going to come down here, so this will be a full 5-on-5. Everyone choosing wisely not to split up. So far, no one really all that low on the side of Deep Impact, but a Nubarok being absolutely chunked out. Now Zarya's starting to get chunked out. The Crystal Aegis comes out, going to keep Zarya safe for the time being. Meanwhile, everyone getting awfully low on the side of Sky5, but then again, so is Alarak, and the Living Bomb is just going to finish him off. No heal or shield available to heal him. So while everyone did get super low on the side of Sky5, the one target got very low on the side of Deep Impact. Although Kael'Thas's in some trouble, but a heal is available from Malfurion, who, by the way, has no mana. So I think Deep Impact, they realize this. They realize that, hey, it's time to go in. Malf doesn't have any mana. It's nothing he can do. Whereas Ariel, as long as your team is doing damage, she always has mana. And someone like Zarya does not need any mana to do any damage, so really just a tremendous amount of sustain from the side of Deep Impact, really making the difference in these fights. And, you know, I think you're seeing the impact of the nerfs on Malfurion really hurt him here. You know, there have been a couple situations where he's just out of mana, and it's basically just really hurt his team's ability to fight. And I don't think that would have been the case yesterday. Yeah, prior to the patch. So we see the entire bottom temple being taken along with the boss by Deep Impact, and they're not done yet. They're going to take the siege camp of Sky5. So they're going to have a boss, a siege camp push here, and meanwhile Johanna sitting on the temple. I'm curious if she's going to stay up here, because this is absolutely a situation that needs to be responded to. Otherwise this keep is going to go down. I think this keep is pretty much guaranteed to go down no matter what. But Johanna, she's definitely going to need to come back in time to protect the core. And this could be a core situation before. I think Deep Impact, they know this is a 5-on-4. They know someone's up there in the temple. But no, they're going to choose to back off. Now they've gotten the keep. Pretty much no matter what, it's very difficult to take down the core this early in the game. Yeah, just death timers are so short. So instead, they're choosing to pull back, deal with the camp pressure put on them by Sky5. Going to clean up their the enemy bruiser camp and then pick up the bruiser camp on their own. So far, a pretty commanding lead here for Deep Impact, and I think they've done a very good job of not overextending, not doing anything too aggressive to force that lead. Interesting that they're choosing to time out this camp a little bit. Of course, while they wait, little do they know that the camp is being invaded. So, definitely paying a bit of a price there, perhaps. Yeah, if you're sitting here guarding this camp, you're certainly not taking your own, so bit of a trade-off there. So, I think they're just waiting for the next temple phase to come up before they cap this. Which I feel like it's still going to be a little bit before that comes up. Because remember, Johanna was taking this temple while the boss was pushing on the keep. Yeah, I think they tried to wait as long as they could to cap this, but it's hard. It was hard to wait much longer, so they finally end up capping it, which is going to give Sky5 probably a chance to clean it up before it can do too much. So it's looking like both teams, looks like they want the top temple. And I think that's probably ideal for Deep Impact. If they take the top temple, well, for them, pretty much any temple they take is going to attack one of the keeps, whereas if Sky5 gets this temple, it's going to be attacking forts. You know, I take that back. I think no matter what temple Sky5 takes, it's going to attack forts. So this is a 4-on-5 here outside of Deep Impact. Just what I was saying, they were playing so cautiously to not give up their lead. Here they are engaging in a 4-on-5, but Alarak comes in, the deadly charge goes off, manages to kill KT, Tychus. I believe that's going to be an ace. I believe that is going to be all 5. The ice block only going to delay the inevitable for Malfurion. I don't think they can go core yet, although they disagree. I think they're definitely thinking about it. And they're probably going to have a good 15 seconds before Kel'Thas and an Uberak can attack it. I don't know. It's going to be close. I feel like with the amount of sustain that they have, they could probably do it. All they need is some energy for Ariel, and I think they should be able to get it. So, Tychus, KT, and Uberak all up. Everyone is basically up on the side of Sky5. This is a very scary situation. They have everyone except Malfurion, but he's not totally needed here. Temme getting awfully low. He's going to fall. But everyone, I believe they're focusing the core. I don't think there's anything that's going... They're not going... Yeah, that is going to be game. I think that was a little bit tough, but... Wow. Oh, wow. Hey, J-How's watching. Hey. Thank you, thank you. I've been casting for, I guess, since Season 2, so maybe like 6 months ago, but I really enjoyed doing it. Yeah, I will hit you up after this. But yeah, that was a great game by both teams. As to be expected by, just two teams that are currently sitting atop of Division 1. I think these are the 3rd and 4th place teams, so these are both very, very good teams. And I think you saw it. Just really, really high level play from both teams. But I think the sustain comp for Deep Impact just really showed. They just really showed its strength. Even though there were a couple fights where they lost one early and they were at a numbers disadvantage, they were still able to turn it around because of the amount of sustain they had. We saw the amount of sustain Malfurion have now lacking since the patch. There were just multiple times where you saw Malfurion run out of mana and just unable to keep his team in the fight. And that ultimately ended. If I can speak English, ultimately ended up in them losing those fights. So, yeah. But anyway, that was a great game. Very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed casting that. And that is going to do it for me for tonight. So if you guys would like to see some more of my casts, I will be doing some more tomorrow. And please do subscribe. But thanks, guys. That's going to do it for me for tonight. If there's another Cheer League match going on, I will try to host it. Let's see here. Let's see. It's early enough that I think there's probably other matches that are going on. So let's see here. What is the website? Cheerleague.com. That's what it is. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to throw it over to Akuma, who's casting a Pro Division match, 3rd string, and Gangs R Us. So, thanks, guys.